is a good idea. But what does it, or what are the consequences, either positive or negative? It's another point to answer. Okay? They can bring debates, they can bring marathons, they can bring activities, but who do they impact? And that's why you have said that most of the youth go to these conferences, go to these debates to earn, to get such allowances. But the point goes ahead from the allowance. It goes ahead that you should plant that tree, you should conserve the environment. What do I mean? I've participated, I think I've been for photo here for some good 5 years. So I believe I should have participated in all these activities in the Water Week. Okay? But most of the youth are only concentrating, even the Ministry of Environment itself, okay, having brought an idea, it must look at the implementation and the impact thereof, because it must now, as I say, that it must go deeper and look at door-to-door mobilization. These conferences, the money invested in the conferences to call the stakeholders, the students, these so-called youth who are unconcerned with the environment, okay, should be put to lecture, to teach, to train on ground, door-to-door campaigns, eco campaigns, to tell people, are you having learned door-to-door, conserving the plastic, the polythene? I love Rwanda. It's a state where the government itself has imposed sanctions on Havera and plastic. You can see that it's not hard way to make. Our Parliament of Uganda is wasting systems, is wasting resources in other things, in fake debates, but they're not looking at conservation. That's basically. I'm right to my point, okay? So we must cite our minds to life, nature, which breeds conservation, which is the prime core of our life being. Because no one can exist, and no youth will further exist if they don't conserve the environment. We can look at the carbon system. I heard of news today, and has been trending, that the bomb, however not specific, maybe of the year, but the bomb that beats Japan in the world wars, okay?
Nagasaki and
Hiroshima, okay? It's still affecting us, okay? So it is a point of concern that the global trend, all these environmental organizations that have come up, okay, are considering that maybe we can look to try something to do, okay? We imposing you to plant a tree, okay? It is our responsibility. But planting it is for you.
Sure.
Even if we have take an example of the government supplying nets, but they have found these nets, these mosquito nets, holding chicks at their homes, okay, being used as ropes.
That drives us to the discipline part.
Yeah, so it is, we need to have a concept of eco-discipline.
Sure.
To just synthesize it is environmental conservation discipline.
Sure.
Yes, to make sure ourselves as youth, we are responsible for the future, and which is nature, and which is the environment that we need to wish to live in and work with it economically.
Yes, sure. And this brings me to Abby. Abby, do you think the generations that came first were selfish? And if yes or no, which examples do you think we can learn from them? And what do you think which mistake do you see in them that we can actually not borrow from them? The mistakes that we are actually supposed to rectify from the generations that came before us. Do you think they did enough to conserve our environment? If no, which mistakes are we not supposed to repeat that they did?
Thank you so much. On the generation that came before us, well, we grew up in an environment that I could say is still natural to some extent. But if we are to learn from them and then relate to what we have right now, we realize that the major problem that we have is ignorance. People are doing things but they do not know what is at stake. It's almost so bad that if you take an example of fish, alright? Fish lives in water. Its entire life is supposed to be in water. Now if you remove that fish in water, from water, what happens? Exactly. So without the environment is that important. The environment of the thing makes the thing. So if the environment is destroyed, then we are dead. But people do not know what is at stake, and so the problem, I think, is ignorance. That is the only problem. So, like we talked about sensitization, if sensitization could be done at grassroots level, then maybe people will know what is at stake, and that could maybe be like a push factor for them to actually do what is right. All right. But at the end of the day, if ignorance is still an issue, then people are going to keep singing. We are going to keep